Good evening. We are live on Instagram again. Welcome to day 7 of Positive Influences on this here Meditate with Marie channel. So in this series of videos, I am having conversations with people who definitely positively impact me, but have something to offer anyone who listens to these videos. I'm finding these conversations really inspiring. And tonight I am hoping to invite a very special friend of mine to come and join me in this conversation. She is somebody who is motivated. She's great at setting a goal and achieving it. She's great at making other people feel uplifted. She's just a positively inspiring person. With a bit of luck, I can... Let's see if this video is going to link us in. Fingers crossed. And here we go. Hello, Fran. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Hi.
How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Very hot. I have power walked and I'm sitting by the back door where it keeps raining on and off. So I've got a really nice soundscape tonight.
Lovely.
So we're talking positive influences, and I have invited you to join me because I always feel good when I have conversations with you, always. And whether we're talking serious stuff or light-hearted stuff, you are just somebody who makes me feel uplifted by the end of the conversation. So thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome.
Fran is also somebody who helped me with the Positivity Project book when I was writing it. I needed just a little bit of someone to give me some guidance on the nutrition chapter, just to make sure that my facts were correct. Now, lucky for me, Fran is a newly qualified nutritionist, and that's the kind of avenue I want to go down for tonight's conversation. So thank you so much. I think our timing's really good. We planned this talk a little while ago, didn't we? We lined it up for tonight, but in recent news, as far as I can determine, the doctors have been asked or are going to discourage people from taking antidepressants, or they want to reduce the prescriptions for antidepressants. So I thought that would be a nice way to link in the impact that what we're eating and drinking has on our mental health, because whether people are aware of it or not, it does have a massive impact. What can I ask you to share on that with anybody who's listening to this? Why does eating junk food make us feel so bad?
Well, junk food, as the name suggests, is junk. It's usually probably laden with a lot of sugar, fat, a lot of bad fats, and those are the kind of things that are going to cause stress on your body. So if you're eating them on a daily basis, your body's not going to be able to function in an optimal way. And so as a result, you're likely to get symptoms like feeling rubbish, feeling sluggish, and generally not very optimal. So I think part of the challenge is also, though, that people just don't realise that what they're putting in their mouths is making them feel that way. But if you think about it, when you take a drug to make yourself feel better, like an antidepressant, it's going in your mouth, it's going in your stomach, it's getting dissolved and put into your bloodstream, which is exactly what food does. So, it then makes sense that, okay, maybe you can look at eating certain things that then would do the same job.
Absolutely.
But it is a bit of a minefield, and that's why I chose to study it, because it's so much information out there, so much mixed stuff. It's hard to know kind of which avenue to go down. So yeah, I from my opinion, it's a good move that they're going to try and do that, but what needs to be there to work out where they go instead.
Absolutely. And of course, if people do, need that support, especially with the medication or coming off the medication, it concerns me that the support isn't going to be out there for people. I don't want people to just stop taking medication. It almost seems a little bit makes people more vulnerable, so if we could perhaps just highlight the fact that there are ways in which we can help to support ourselves. I know when I go junk food free for a period of time, usually before Christmas or around Lent, just for fun, I might give up eating sugary foods. Not that I eat a lot of them, but I'm definitely a sugar fiend, and nutrition is my worst positivity practice. It's definitely my Achilles heel. You know, junk food's
Yeah.
tasty. It's nice.
And it's fitting. You know, a lot of us use food. I mean, I comfort eat. Like I eat when I want to celebrate, and I eat when I'm sad.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, we're both a fan of cake, you know.
love cake.
Yeah. Let's be honest, I don't just want to come on here and say to people, oh, hey, did you know that, you know, when you're eating junk food, it has a detrimental health on your mood, impact on your mood. But we do eat it, just that kind of like bringing things back into balance, everything in moderation, and just being aware, because a lot of the time, you know, there's people out there drinking a lot of fizzy pop even every day. I inadvertently discovered that if you're eating particularly things with a lot of sweeteners in, a lot of artificial sweeteners or diet pop, they're very triggering for anxiety. They can have such a bad impact on you that they can actually trigger panic attacks and
Yeah.
things. But not everyone's aware of that. I would love to make people aware of that. But it is very unrealistic. I do appreciate that, to just expect people to give up eating junk food. It's not real, is it? It's an unrealistic
No.
goal.
And yeah, the the one thing we can probably do is just try to eat foods in their most natural state. You know, like whenever I feel like I'm craving something chocolate, some chocolate or some cake, I just try to maybe have like some nuts instead or some fruit. And then maybe if the craving doesn't go away, then maybe I will give in and have it. But you know, it's trying to eat those more nutritiously dense, because that's the other thing. Like a lot of junk food isn't nutritionally dense, so you eat it and then you crave some more because it you know, it might have been quite sugary, and then that imbalances your blood sugar levels and makes you crave more. Whereas food in its most natural state has more nutrients in it. You're more likely to eat it and be satisfied, and then crave less after.
Mm. It's definitely more filling as well, isn't it? When I know if I eat chicken and anything with beans in and that sort
Yeah,
of thing, I feel fuller for
yeah,
longer. Whereas if I just grab a slice of pizza or some cereal on the go, it doesn't have a
yeah.
lasting impact.
And the other thing is, like, the things that keep you full are protein and fat. So a lot of ready meals and processed food don't have much fat in them or don't have much protein in them. So again, you're going to eat stuff and then want to eat more because the protein and the fat keeps you fuller for longer. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay. So, say for someone like me who does love sugary foods, I love biscuits and things like that, and if I am having a sugar craving and I am trying to be good, especially for hormonal reasons, it's really beneficial to just cut that down. You know, 2 weeks before your menstrual cycle begins, you can have a much easier time if you lay off the sugar and then indulge a bit the other 2 weeks. I have a spoonful of honey, and sometimes that really helps. And I know it is a natural sugar and it's sugary, but
Yeah,
it definitely, like, it kind of hits the spot, and it's also a natural antibiotic, isn't it? So it's always good to eat a spoonful of honey anyway.
yeah, yeah. And again, like, you can balance it. So if you're taking the sugar in the honey, you can have some nuts with it, and that balances out the blood sugar, or a bit
Oh,
of
fab.
fat. You know, like a nut butter, or because I like I'm a bit addicted to oat cake with some almond butter and some honey at the moment. So that's kind of like my little sweet thing.
Thank
Um,
you, that's a good tip. I love
yeah.
that. Paul is asking, she's asking, fresh veg or frozen veg?
Frozen is still good. I think the thing when it comes to vegetables is not to overcook them,
Mm.
because some vegetables lose nutrients when they're heated or cooked. So, like broccoli, for example, is really high in vitamin C, but vitamin C is destroyed when you cook at high temperatures. So, ideally, with your veg, you just want to kind of steam it, just kind of lightly, really. But yeah,
It tastes better too like that,
yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah, yeah. But freezing does still retain nutrients. It's more how we cook it, and if we cook it to death, you're not going to get much out of it, really.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, thank you for answering that question. It's really great to be able to ask you these things, because I'm no expert on this at all. I wish I was, but I'm really not.
Well,
um, yeah, so
yeah.
I do try eat more seeds. You know, I love
Yeah,
cereals and yogurt and things like that. So if I'm having a
yeah,
snack, maybe with some fruit,
yeah,
put some yogurt on top, I always try and sprinkle different types of seeds and nuts on it as well.
yeah. And that's really good because seeds are another thing that's full of like different nutrients that your body needs for so many things. And I think it's easy to like overlook seeds, especially for like hormonal balance and things like that. Good for. Um,
Nice.
and then in terms of yogurt, you know, I kind of advocate full fat things. I don't advocate things with the fat taken out of them, specifically in dairy because a lot of the vitamins that are in dairy are fat soluble.
Right. What does that mean?
So like they need fat to be able to be absorbed into your body.
Right.
So some nutrients are water soluble. So when they're kind of dissolved in water, that's how your body can absorb fat. So the vitamins that are in milk, they need the fat. So basically, if you take the fat out of milk, you kind of it's just almost a bit like water. So
Right. So you're not going to absorb them nutrients.
no, not necessarily. Uh,
Interesting.
so yeah, and you know, often I'd like to think it's more common knowledge, but you know, anything that's low fat is generally replaced with something in it which will be sugary based. They kind of replace it with sugar, and then that then has more detrimental like inflammation, balances, all sorts of things. So yeah.
I wish I'd have known this at school. I wish somebody had taught us these things at school so that it would set us up
And
for life.
particularly as women, for all our hormones, you know, all of our hormones come from that the kind of raw material that makes hormones is a fat based material. So you know, nuts, avocados are another really good one. Natural fats, yeah, and they're really high in fiber, which a lot of people don't realize. Fiber is another thing that's missing in a lot of diets because junk food doesn't have fiber in it.
Right.
So and
what are other good ways to get fiber into the body?
I think easy ways: nuts, seeds, oats, vegetables, anything kind of like crunchy is generally high in fiber.
That's good because I love crunchy food.
Yeah, yeah, you know, you can't go wrong with vegetables. Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you very much. That is definitely food for thought, literally. So with this series of videos as well, I'm trying to inspire people to maybe make a little change or try a little something. And I thought rather than asking anybody watching this to give up something that is not so good for them, let's be a little bit more realistic and say to people, okay, if you want to eat your chocolate or your cake or whatever, that's, you know, I'm not going to encourage you not to do it. If you leave it out, awesome. But if you don't, how about you add one extra good thing in?
Yeah.
So for every sweet treat or naughty thing that you have, whether it's a sausage roll or a cake or a bit of chocolate, how about you go, okay, I'm going to have this, but at the same time, not literally at the same time, but
Yeah.
on the same day, can we add in something else that's going to be healthier for us? For example, I've taken up eating sauerkraut because I heard it's really good for your gut health and it helps to reduce bloating and things.
Yeah.
So I've just come in from my power walk and I felt really hungry, but rather than going for a biscuity type thing, I've gone for a few slices of cucumber because I thought the cucumber might cool me down, get a bit of water in, and then I've had 2 giant spoonfuls of purple kraut.
Good.
Yeah, but I do want to point out I did have a quarter of a pizza for lunch earlier. So, you know, everything in moderation. So I'm going to challenge anybody watching, whether you're live or later on, to adopt something, bring in something healthy. Like what healthy, nutritious thing can you add, even if you're not leaving out something less nutritious? How does that sound?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because like a lot of people think that they have to take stuff out. And yes, eventually things might have to go, but I think once you train yourself to get into choosing into more healthy things, you might be less reliant on those other things that maybe so.
Absolutely. And I think it's one of them practices as well that you know, you fall off the wagon, you get back on the wagon like all the time, but eventually you kind of reach this point of I enjoy taking care of myself. I enjoy how I feel when I'm eating healthier. and my diet positively influences my choices moving forward, just because I love feeling good and I love myself enough to go, okay, I'm not going to eat that garbage today. I'm going to choose something more beneficial. So hopefully we can inspire a few other people to do that as well. Before we end the conversation, I would like to ask you, what inspired you to study nutrition? What brought that on?
Well, it's kind of been an evolution over the years, I think. And it started when I'd always kind of had this battle with my skin. I had acne when I was younger, and then over the years kind of looked at what I could do to kind of address that. And yeah, so it just kind of went from there. I dabbled in a few things, but didn't really seem to get anywhere. And then just with like the amount of mixed information out there, I just thought, if I at least educate myself, I can make more educated decisions and make my own opinion about what I believe kind of healthy and not unhealthy or healthful. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was it really. Just kind of a desire to want to live healthier for longer. You know, I just think it's so important that we take care of ourselves. Given that there's so much temptation out there and the lives that we lead, and we're all so busy. Nutrition for me, along with lifestyle and exercise and sleep, is all kind of like taking responsibility for ourselves to make sure that we live as healthily as possible.
Excellent. I love that. And then that's quite an empowering thing for yourself, but also I think enables you to lead by example, because I mean, I can't speak for other people, but when I look at you, just from knowing you, I just think, oh my God, this woman is glowing. She looks healthy. She looks vibrant. Her life force energy is clearly strong, and it shows. And that inspires me to take better care of myself. And I love that you cook from scratch as well. You make the effort to frequently cook from scratch for yourself, which is fantastic. And even if you have a really busy lifestyle, like I don't get a lot of time to cook, I couldn't do it daily. I love to batch cook when I do, so that I can stock my freezer full of nice healthy home cooked meals, so that I can just defrost and as you go.
Yeah I think that's a really good idea, and it's kind of like a form of self-care really, you know, just making that effort.
Absolutely. So if you don't have time to cook every day, batch cook. See if that helps. Definitely helps with time management as well. Okay, so just one last other question for you. Aside from the nutrition and the conversation that we've just had, who, where, or what positively inspires or impacts you? What makes you feel good?
I mean, I'll definitely say people, but that's person. Definitely some people in my life, like yourself, who definitely positively influence me. But actually, I was thinking about this morning. I think music's a big influence for me, because it can kind of change my mood. Because at the moment, like we were having this conversation today about, I struggle to make the time to meditate or something. And this morning, I sat down to do something, and I just found this amazing piece of play, and it just like instantly chilled me out. And I just thought, wow, this is amazing, you know. So there's that, or like something more uplifting, like to help me get through the washing up, like the one chore that I don't enjoy most chores, but you know, I can put some music on and it just kind of motivates me to get through stuff, or run, like when I run, you know. But then I like to run, but I've also started listening to podcasts, which, you know, are just nourishing and inspiring. So yeah, I would say it's those people, music, and inspiring podcasts.
Love that. Thank you. I wholeheartedly agree with that as well. I do occasionally dabble in a bit of Netflix and things like that, but more often than not, I will be listening to a podcast or be playing music. That definitely makes me feel less stressed. I love
that. And I think, because like, you know, the tempo can either naturally uplift you or chill you out, because you know, the hang drums, we went to that hang drum, that music is just so, it's just so amazing. And it just, I like to listen to it when I'm falling asleep. And
Oh, okay, right. I'm going to send you a link to someone that I found on Insight Timer. I listen to a lot of music on the Insight Timer app. And there's this guy, I think he's called Jacob Cole. He plays handpan and his family come in and do other instruments as well. And I just happened to find a load of his tracks and I've made a playlist. And I actually sometimes listen to that at bedtime. I'm going to send you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I think that is a nice way to conclude this conversation. Fran, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to invite anybody who is either watching live or catches up at a later time to leave a comment. Let us know what positively influences you, what impacts your health and well-being in different ways. And if you find anything valuable in this conversation or any of the others that I've had recently, either here or on Facebook, please feel free to tag your friends in, share them, or just invite someone to watch. That would be lovely. Thank you so much, Fran.
No, it's been awesome. Yeah. Happy to help.
I will speak to you soon. Good night and bye for now.
Good night. Bye.
Bye, everyone.